Good morning, everyone. Welcome to this webinar. My name is Jessica with my on-site marketing department. Later, we will go over the top 7 factors that you need to consider when picking up an ideal LoRaWAN gateway for your application, both for now and in the future, and highlight features on my on-site UG6 series gateways. For some of you, this may be a bit of a refresher, and for some other guys, this may be all new, so I will try my best to provide information that is equally comparing to both groups. In order to build up a comprehensive LoRaWAN solution, there are 4 main parts: the LoRaWAN sensors and the sensor nodes in the field, and the LoRaWAN gateway as a station, and the network server, either embedded into the gateway or standalone, and finally an application server where you can get data visible and manageable. Okay, let's see what we need to consider when choosing a LoRaWAN gateway. The first thing I want to say is that there's no particular order or level of importance for each of these factors in your decision. And next, some of these things that you may not need to start, but you may probably need them in the future. So I will cover each of those 7 factors or features individually, but here is a quick recap. First, think of most computing equipment. It is usually designed to work in relatively controlled conditions. However, gateways have to work in many tough locations, so the ideal LoRaWAN gateway should meet the temperature specifications that your solution demands. And second, most people only think about power comes from a wall outlet. Well, they are just used to powering their devices that way. However, in the world of IoT, there is DC power and the power of Ethernet to keep things running. And thirdly, while many LoRaWAN gateways may or may not support the cellular module, support different channels capacity, and different countries support different LoRaWAN frequency. So a decision that you may have to make upfront before purchasing. And fourthly, depending on how many devices you have, how many sensors you have, and equally important, how far they may be away from your gateway, managing them can be almost a full-time job. And fifthly, many deployments are important and need to have more than one connection to prevent downtime caused by network outage, which we will cover in more details later. And whether this gateway work well with other devices in this ecosystem. Even if the end sensors, the gateways, they are LoRaWAN compliant, and gateways how to support the standalone network server, there are still a few compatibility issues that do exist. And finally, how can you make sure those gateways, the gateway hardware, is strong enough when it's working in the field? The strict testing procedure and reliable component supplier will give you more confidence. First, today's electronics are more capable than ever before when it comes to dealing with different temperatures. You can take your iPhone out to run on very cold days, cold weathers, and it seems to do fine. However, when your business relies on a product work, you want to make sure that you are using a product that are designed to handle the rigor of your work environment. And commercial-grade devices offer a bit more protection. They may not fare very well outside in the coldest day in the weather, but they are sufficient for most areas. And finally, you have the ones that are meant to deal with the toughest, the toughest conditions on the planet. The industrial-grade devices, they work in the areas that most don't want to go. Extreme heat in desert or very high humidity levels, seen in the places like in North American market. So they are built to last wherever you put them. So mild-side gateways, both indoor version and outdoor version, are capable to support a wide temperature range from -40 to 70 centigrade. And according to our test, the cellular performance would be reduced if the temperature goes above 60 centigrade. So please take it in mind if your gateway comes with the cellular performance. If it does have, well, the temperature, maybe the performance will be influenced if the temperature higher than 60 centigrade. And one often overlooked decision about a LoRaWAN gateway is how you are going to power it. The good thing is that virtually every gateway offers the ability to be powered by the first two options, and more are adding the ability to be powered by the third. Here is a quick overview, okay? DC power, it requires the product to be a bit more flexible. Many DC sources have more fluctuation in their offerings, so most gateways that can be powered by DC are designed to deal with this. And this is the method of choice for most industrial applications. PoE, or we call it Power over Ethernet, was once the domain of the IT world. By sending both power and the data across the same cable, installers are given more flexibility as well to place devices. In the world of IoT, this means that you are potentially move the gateway closer to the outside, or allowing for a shorter antenna cable, which maximize coverage. And the solar panel is another popular way to supply power in open space where the DC power source is not easy to get. It always comes with a battery to store the solar power in daytime and cover the usage of power during night. So here comes our mild-side LoRaWAN gateway. Ideal LoRaWAN gateway should support DC power and offer PoE and the solar panel as an optional choice. Here you can find both our indoor version and outdoor version are supporting DC and PoE, Power over Ethernet, as a power device as a standard. And the outdoor version gateway, UG67, it will support the solar panel very quickly in the second version, because we are testing in different seasons, in different month and time, in order to give you the best choice. The third factor we need to consider is about the frequency and capability of a gateway. We need to know if the carrier grade, like 64 channels, are required, or if enterprise grade, like with 8 channels, will be enough. And LoRaWAN frequency plans and regulations by country. LoRaWAN use license-free radio frequency. The bands like 868 MHz in Europe, 915 MHz in Australia, and like Australia and North America as well, and 923 MHz in Asia countries. So before you purchasing the device and get it delivered from the warehouse, it's better to confirm those details with your supplier in case of the frequency compliant issues. And here we can see mild-side gateways are capable to meet the different LoRaWAN frequency in different regions and areas. Almost every corner of this world, we can support LoRaWAN, the local LoRaWAN frequency. And how do you manage devices? How do you manage those devices that never come back to the office? And luckily, today's gateways offer some incredible tools to manage things like firewall levels, firewall upgradings, and security settings, and level and the debug features. Okay. And moreover, despite management of the gateways themselves, what about the sensors and the sensor node? Sensors and the sensor node are plug-and-play end devices. Do you want to manually add them into the gateway one by one, unit by unit, through the QR code scanning, or manually filling the serial number into the gateway's network server? Do you want to do that? Well, here now we have the very awesome feature, the bulk import and multi device hub. We have the bulk import feature. It allows you to upload multiple sensors in one go using a template. All you need are device name, device UI, application profile, app key, and then from the table, and work through the process. You will get maximum 1,000 devices at a time on your 8 channels gateway without any impact on the hardware performance. So we can take use of this bulk import feature from the web GUI of the gateway directly to import a numbers of devices or controllers into the gateway. And also we have the device hub, multi-site device hub for the centralized management of the gateways. Device hub, it works with multi-site industrial cellular router as well as the multi-site LoRaWAN gateway, both of them. So through this centralized management platform, you can upgrade your firmware remotely and for quantity of them, and provide a very secured tunnel or encrypted tunnel for remote accessing into the gateway, into the cellular router for the remote debug. So this is a free tool that we provided for multi-site users, LoRaWAN, gateway, and industrial cellular router users. And for the purpose of time, I put these two factors together on the same slide, as well as the fact that they are related. However, both have an incredible level of importance in their own right. Okay. Network redundancy. Is when you have two different and unrelated technologies that work together to provide your deployment with a reliable and secure internet access. It may be a landline and wireless combination, like the Ethernet, cellular, and Wi-Fi, or two separate wireless networks combination, like the LoRaWAN and the cellular for remote deployments. And for many deployments, a single cellular connection is more than enough. So here you can find multi-site LoRaWAN gateways are able to accommodate this by implementing cellular technology. Okay. And the gateway can use the cellular SIM card to provide a failover method as the backhaul options required for the installation site. So the Ethernet, Wi-Fi, and the cellular, or some combination are available in multi-site gateways. You can enjoy it. And also we have the multi-site LoRaWAN gateways are able to both devices and the station server manufacturer. As a manufacturer of those professional devices, we advise to make sure the gateway have been tested extensively with the sensors and the network servers as much as possible. Whether the gateway can work very well with other network servers to forward data smoothly, I think we need to take this into consideration. And gateways from our side have the ability to run the network server right on the gateway itself, as well as a Linux environment that allows the user to create full applications at the edge. We can provide loot for customers case by case, and also we can forward data to the third party's network server through the like MQTT, HTTP, or HTTPS, those kind of protocols. Here we summarized 4 different typical scenarios of how to work our gateway in a LoRaWAN solution. Well, if everything, the sensors, the gateway, and you are using our embedded network server, and you are also subscribe our side IoT Cloud service, then everything is from our side. And besides that, if you don't want to use our mouse-side IoT Cloud, you'd prefer to use your own platform, no matter it's on-premise or it's hosted in cloud. Well, we can support, like I said, the MQTT, HTTP, HTTPS protocols to forward data from our embedded network server from the gateway to your platform. And in third scenario, well, customers, they prefer to use a standalone network server like from TTN and LoRaWAN. Okay, we have fully tested with them. So you can take use of our gateway and just a few steps to finish this kind of configuration, network configuration with TTN and LoRaWAN, and forward the data from the gateway to your own platform. And fourthly, if you are not satisfied, or if you want to have more flexibility to develop your own network server, like based on Chopstack, is an open source LoRaWAN network server that gives you more flexibility to develop. So our customers can also take use of our mouse-side LoRaWAN gateway with Chopstack. And as we are talking about on-premise system, no matter the indoor or outdoor model, the gateways should be installed in a higher place to provide better LoRaWAN signal. So for customers, the good quality means long life use and less maintenance troubles. The CPU, the memory, the LoRaWAN module, and the power adapter and no supplier. So a reliable provider can provide you a reliable component and system. And also there should be a strict testing, very strict testing procedure from both factory internal testing and outside the third parties professional lab testing. So here you can find in my site, we have our own factory and assembling line, and also we have some professional equipment to test like temperature, vibration, and radiation test. And also we can provide you rich accessories like the PoE lightning, surge protector, and also our power adapters in case you want to install the gateway in a high place in the heavy raining weather. I think lightning is a very good reason to think about. And speak for the gateway, well, usually you can find 2 types or 2 kinds of gateways in the market. One is running on a very minimum firmware, only used for the package forwarding software. So it means very low cost and easy in function, like gateway from TTN. And another type is running an operating system as a LoRaWAN server. So the package forwarding software works as a background program. So administrator, he can manage the gateway and install their own software into the gateway. And our mouse-side products is the second type, but comes with a very good budget. So that's why we can support our network server software inside embedded into the gateway. And now about MileSite UG6 series gateway. We totally have two different models. You guys can see here we have the UG65 for indoor applications and UG67 for outdoor applications. That are big difference between them is the design for indoor and outdoor use. And besides the embedded network server, the wide temperature, the backhaul connectivity, here our gateways allow the maximum registration up to 2,000 sensors and nodes. With respect to the range, a single LoRaWAN-based gateway can receive and transmit signal over a distance of more than 15 kilometers in rural areas, and even in dense urban environment, messages are able to travel up to 5 kilometers, depending on how deep the indoors the end devices are located. Okay. And besides that, let's have a very quick glance of the specification. You can see the UG6 series gateway, not just a pure gateway. It's a kind of a system equipped with several modules and embedded network server software. And by the way, we are going to upgrade the network server software to support maximum 5 gateways simultaneously, like the multi-gateway architectures feature. So it will be more convenient for customers to manage several units of gateway in one network server platform. And the sensor nodes can be displayed, can be installed at any places within the architecture, not limited to the LoRaWAN signal coverage that provided by one gateway. So it's more easier and flexible to deploy multiple units of gateways in same project. It's a coming soon new feature, so please stay with us for upgrading, okay? So electricity is becoming very costly, very expensive for business in worldwide. And the good news is that MileSite UG6 gateways typically use less power according to our test. According to the test, the power consumption is nearly half of the old version. We have the UG8 series. So the new models just cost half of the electricity of the old version. So it's a real saving for your business. And the full duplex means that a system or circuit is capable of both transmitting and receiving data at the same time. In contrast, half duplex means that a communication can only go in one direction at a time. So now our UG6 series have the several benefits over the use of the UG8, the old models. There are no collisions, so time is not wasted by having to retransmit frames. And full transmission capability is available in both directions because the send and receive functions are separate. And the stations, the gateway or sensor nodes, do not need to wait for others to complete their transmission. So to the customers, if there are a big quantity of sensors in your application scenario and it's very difficult to bear the data delay, such as the LoRaWAN-based smart wireless switch for the light turning or off, or turning on or turning off, or the door open or close, then this new feature can improve your user experience and satisfaction. It means customers can get faster response of their interactive operations. And our UG6 models now come with a competitive advantage on the alarm notification. There are several pieces of the supercapacitors are coming into the UG67 model. When abnormal power failure happens, when the electricity disconnected suddenly, the gateway is still capable to supply power about 1 more minute for alert by sending email or by sending SMS. So electricity from the directly from the UG67 model, from the outdoor version gateway directly. If we compare to our previous UG8 series on our old models, old series, customer can also get alarm and find abnormal situation from the Link cloud platform. But if customer doesn't use our cloud service, if they didn't subscribe our cloud service, then there's no way to alert them this situation that power is off. So I think this is a very advanced and upgrading or improvement in the user experience. So let's see what's our unique selling proposition. Multi-site gateways are designed based on the market research and competitors' products analyzing. So from our hardware chipset components selection to the ISO standards developing and manufacturing to the last step of the internal testing before shipment, you can fully trust its performance. And there are too many different brands of LoRaWAN gateways in the market with less than $250 for the indoor version to more than $1,200 for the outdoor version. We found our our UG6, because it's the new model. UG6 gateways are able to better meet your demand of user-friendly and cost-effective to the customers. From the hardware design, we support the latest LoRaWAN chipset. It means more powerful CPU, more memory, but less power consumptions. And we can support the full duplex or half duplex as well, both of them. And alarm the power off. When power's off, you can receive the alarm by email or by SMS. And like the PoE as a power over Ethernet as a power device for both versions, and Wi-Fi, Ethernet, 4G LTE are optional to get. And also we have the lightning surge protection. And if you have hundreds or thousands of the devices, the sensors sending data via the same gateway, I think our gigabit Ethernet cable, our gigabit Ethernet interface can still work without any troubles, without any bottlenecks. And from our software design, unlike other brands, different from others, you only need to save your changes without any device reboot for the LoRaWAN network settings. It means 5 minutes will be enough to finish this part, and you can take use of the device hub, the free management tool to realize the remote accessing for the gateways when they install the firewall in the field. So you don't need to have the port mapping. You don't have to install the TeamView. Just take use of our device hub. You can remote access into the gateway even without the public IP address. And the settings from famous network server like settings with TTN and Chopstack and LoRaWAN are coming by default in the gateway's web GUI directly. And according to our experience, more than 50% of the sold LoRaWAN gateways are outdoor version. They usually installed in a high place, high position to have the direct sight. It's always good to have a higher location for your gateways gateway's antenna installation. In the picture here, you can see two locations where we are able to get the high location. On the left is the here is the roof of outside building in our office, and we have the actual antenna on the direct antenna, and which is the big gain. And also there's a power already over there, and the local power because of the solar panel and the battery. We are making tests to support the solar panel in the UG67, the outdoor version, very quickly. And on the right side, you can see there are the gateway was installed on a mountain where we could see the fiberglass LoRaWAN antenna with big gain. And also in this picture you can find is our new version UG65, the indoor version UG65. The LoRaWAN antennas, there are two embedded inside LoRaWAN antennas inside, and also you can get one LoRaWAN external antenna as an optional choice. And if you choose a gateway, I strongly recommend looking for a gateway model that supports Wi-Fi and cellular. It makes installation locations so much easier if you can move the gateway to a convenient location. If you depend on having a cable, Ethernet cable, you have less choices where you install the gateway permanently, And comparing with LoRaWAN development in overseas market, LoRa protocol was relatively later to be a standard in our domestic market, but is a huge potential market here in China. The applications are coming from commercial use from the big community and also easy to expand the scale if the first POC was succeed. So when we meet with our customers, we explain the technology to them in layman's terms. We tell them about the versatility of use cases. And there is so many. There is one of the real strengths of LoRaWAN standards, of course, and we give them actual case studies since we have been in the market now long enough to have accumulated some credibility and some really successful stories. And here is our customer who made a very fast POC with our UG85, the previous old version indoor gateway. Now it's replaced with UG65, the new model. And things like the poultry raising, this is a very big thing in China. I think is better developed in Europe countries. In China, if it's a small poultry raising business, it's usually operate manually. So we showcase to the customers in village and tell them about what we can be gained from monitoring these gas emissions in the pig farmhouse and how that can reduce the maintenance and improve the living air conditions for the local neighbors. And we also share with our customers that how can they increasing their productivity and the crop yield by using LoRaWAN solution in their farmland and greenhouse. This is the case from our partner in Australia. They were testing mount-side gateway with many third parties LoRaWAN sensors and count on TTN to forward data. It proves the very good interoperability between our gateways with other hardware sensors and software network server provider. And in smart city, the public traffic is also an important part of our daily life here in China. So we also show our customers that how to get to know the exact location and location of buses and provide the estimated arrival time for passengers. Usually, we are using the GPS and the GIS and cellular, 3G or 4G technology to build up the solution. But it's a large number of SIM cards installed in the GPS tracker, which is a big investment for commercial use. So this case from Mexico shows us the possibility of replacing cellular with LoRaWAN technology and save the budget in the total solution. And in this case, we provide a bundle solution of the UR35 cellular router UG85, the old version LoRaWAN gateway, and UC11N1, the sensor node, to monitor the traffic, security, and environmental data and the people counter for building up a smart city in Singapore. Typically, a smart city project always starts by installing the cameras for public safety and traffic monitoring, and usually end up with a range of deployed IoT sensors. But in this case, the customer are taking use of the traditional legacy sensors to connect with our UC11N1 through the digital input, analog input, IS232, IS485, the serial interfaces, and forward the data wirelessly to our UG85 LoRaWAN gateway. And here, why we install a UR35 cellular router? Of course, you can take use of the cellular interface in the UG85 LoRaWAN gateway directly to forward the data from the gateway to the monitoring center through the 4G LTE network. But here, IP cameras, they need a broadband network to send the data. LoRa network is not enough. So we provide the UR35 cellular router and take use of the Ethernet cable, the PoE interface, to provide power supply to the camera and gateway, and at the same time to receive data from the camera and the gateway, and combine together to forward to the 4G through the 4G LTE to the remote monitoring center. So I think it's a perfect balance of the narrowband and broadband networks. And the case from Australia, it has been selected by LoRa Alliance for the destination LoRa event. We can make use of the LoRaWAN-based soil moisture, temperature, and humidity sensor, and the LoRaWAN-based water gate controller, actuator, and LoRaWAN-based gateway to build up auto-watering irrigation system to reduce labor cost and improve the water usage efficiency. Once the gateway receives data from the sensor, it's passed to the ChopStack network server via the cellular network, and then forwarded by MQTT to the AWS IoT platform, where the monitoring center is hosted for farmer access, both web interface and mobile apps. So this is a very successful LoRaWAN application in the smart agriculture applications. Museum is a place where it is very sensitive to the temperature, humidity, and the lightness changes. So we can take use of the LoRaWAN technology to realize the online monitoring of the key parameters. So you can find several LoRaWAN-based ambience monitoring sensor from our site. And also there's UG65, the new model of the indoor version LoRaWAN gateway that's installed in the museums around the corner, and collect data and forward to the third party's network server. Well, that's all about this webinar. I'd like to share with you guys the multi-site LoRaWAN gateways highlight and how to choose a ideal LoRaWAN gateway. I'd like to say that multi-site LoRaWAN gateway is a unique, robust, easy deployment and management solution with powerful remote management features. It allows you to conveniently maximize return on your network investment. So here, you guys can find multi-site gateways that we can save the cost, save the time to install the network server if you prefer to use our embedded version. And also our gateway can support you Ethernet cable, Wi-Fi, and cellular for the wireless communications. And 5 minutes will be enough to finish all the LoRaWAN network settings. You don't need to reboot it every step, just reboot finally. If you prefer to use TTN, Chopstack, LoRaWAN, or the third party's network server, well, go ahead because we have fully tested with them. You can very easily finish configurations. Okay, so that's all I want to share with you guys. So thanks very much for joining us today. If you have any question, please email me or contact with your sales account. So see you guys next time. Bye bye.